A pleasant and wonderful day for all of you who are joining us here on Agenda. It's the 4th of July. We should be having fireworks, but we are on the wrong continent. Okay, 4th of July is for the United States. In the Philippines, it's the 4th of July. No fireworks because that's not our Independence Day. But nonetheless, welcome to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, announcing to you that on today's agenda, we are going to be artistic, not maarte. Okay, artistic because we are going to feature two renowned artists. One is in film and television, and the other one is in creative design, furniture, and many other things. And sila po ay mga bigatin. They are very experienced and respected in their fields. And they're relatively young because they're evidence that you don't have to be Jurassic, you don't have to be senior to be artistic, and but it pays to really work at your craft. Anyway, today is 4th of July, 2022, Monday. And let's start the day with our daily starter. And it goes, when God blesses you financially, don't raise your standard of living, raise your standard of giving. Okay? Because yung iba po sa inyo, the minute you have more money, buy a new car, buy a new house, buy a new dress, buy a new watch, and the other people around you, your driver, your maid, your houseboy, or people you know, they're still struggling. If you are okay naman, share with others. Raise your standard of giving rather than your standard of living. I will be the first to say, always give yourself a salary. Always reward yourself for the effort. But don't throw it all at living the good life kasi hindi po yan ang kwento ng buhay, okay? Life is about quality. And let's now go to the front page of the Philippine Star, July 4, 2022, the headline, 10 billion aid for medium to micro, small, medium enterprises pushed, okay? Marcos associates, well, actually, the president's son, Ilocos Norte Representative Sandro Marcos, and cousin incoming incoming Speaker Martin Romualdez and his wife, Representative Yeda Marie Romualdez, have pushed for House Bill number 1, which seeks the financial assistance of 10 billion pesos in aid for micro, small, medium enterprises through the Land Bank and the DBP. Okay, at the top of the front page, Marcos just wants to correct defect in airport bill. For those of you who have not listened to the news or read the news, last Saturday, Malacanang announced that President Bongbong Marcos had vetoed House Bill 7575, calling for the creation of the economic zone inside the San Miguel Bulacan Airport, San Miguel Corporation Bulacan Airport. Nagkalituhan po. It caused panic in the market, in the business community, because a lot of people mistook the veto as a stoppage of the new international airport. So, nung nagka-panic, ayan, naglabas po ng explanation ang Malacanang that BBM vetoed the proposed economic zone to correct the bill. Kumbaga, may problema yung proposed bill, binito na lang niya and then said, ulitin ninyo kasi mali yung pagkasulat ninyo. Okay, that's Malacanang's explanation. I have a column in today's Philippine Star. Please go right ahead and read it regarding that. Meanwhile, that big photo at the top of the front page is a photo of the birthday celebrant Imelda Romualdez Marcos celebrating her 93rd birthday alongside her nephew, Congressman Barba, and her son, President-elect Bongbong Marcos at Malacanang. Meanwhile, palas ma'am on Imelda's Malacanang birthday bash kasi medyo napag-usapan na first week pala may birthday party na raw sa Malacanang. Okay, divorce bill refiled in Congress by Congressman Albay, Representative Edsel Lagman. Okay, yung center photo po na yan is Rosita Donna Chavez, 69 years old, weaving a banig or sleeping mat made of palm leaves, which she sells for 300 to 350 pesos in Barangay Suso in Santa Maria, Ilocos Sur. It is in support of the 10 billion aid for MSME story. Okay. Meanwhile, Presidential Advisor on Entrepreneurship, Joey Concepcion, continues to push for the second booster for age 50-59 years old. And the United Nations cautions governments versus ordaining what is false or what is true. Kumbaga, the UN said, or the UN Human Rights Chief Michelle Bachelet said that government should not be the one pushing for what is false or what is true. Let the concerned institutions deal with that. On the left bottom of the front page, a vendor arranges siling labuyo at the Blumentritt Market. Its price rose to 500 pesos per kilo. Okay, pero ayoko naman pong magmarunong, pero yung picture na yan, klaseng hindi yan siling labuyo eh. Klaseng Taiwan yan eh, kasi yung siling labuyo po maliit laang. It's quite small. Okay, last but not the least, the Bureau of Corrections claimed they have been transparent regarding COVID deaths of the 8 notorious drug lords in the state penitentiary after the National Bureau of Investigation filed charges against 22 police officers, okay? 8 for the murder of 8 detainees. Kumbaga, sabi ng Bucor, namatay daw from COVID. Sabi ng NBI, you said you were bringing them to the hospital. Why bring someone to the hospital in a cadaver bag? Kumbaga, ay mali na camera sila. Okay, let's now go to our first interview. And like I said, we are going artistic today. Our first interview is an actress from California. Okay, let's watch this video because she's a surprise guest. Parang concert, Hindi mo alam yung unang guest mo, so may surprise guest ka. But this lady, I know personally. She's an accomplished actress, and every day we pray that one day we will see her in Cannes, okay, in France. Okay, let's watch this video.
Princess Punzalan is an award-winning veteran actress in the country. Her showbiz career started in 1984. She then rose to fame when she played the now iconic villain Selina Matias in the 90s drama show Mula sa Puso. In 2005, she left the show business and migrated to the US with her husband Jason Field. Princess is now a registered nurse in the US. In 2019, she returned to showbiz after appearing in the American-Filipino musical drama film Yellow Rose.
Okay, welcome to the program, boss. Ako po ay nag-bodyguard sa aling ito, Bernadette Fields, aka Princess Punzalan. Welcome to the program, Princess.
Magandang umaga sa iyo, Cito, at sa lahat ng mga nanonood at nakikinig ngayon.
Okay, salamat na nakadalo ka sa programa. Alam kong medyo kinulit-kulit kita. But pwede bang malaman paano ka napunta sa Amerika? Kasi you had an accomplished life as an actress in the Philippines. You could have continued making drama, telenovelas, especially when they mentioned Selina Matias. I remember that is one of your telenovela na napukpok ka ng payong sa mall.
Oo nga, oo nga. So, tinatanong mo sana, paano ko napunta ng Amerika? Ang napangasawa ko ay isang American national. At nag-meet kami sa Pilipinas. Pero, nung nag-propose na siya, inalam niya sa akin kung willing ba akong pumunta ng Amerika. Kasi para sa kanya, pakiramdam niya mas marami siyang oportunidad dito sa Amerika kaysa sa Pilipinas. Kaya napag-usapan namin, sige, iiwan ko lahat, pupunta ko ng Amerika. Kaya ako napunta ng Amerika noong 2005.
Mm-hmm. And what was the journey like, Princess? Because many Filipinos want to live in America. I lived in America for a year and a half, almost 2 years. But it's not always the land of promise, as they say. And mukhang sa'yo, imbis na nag-artista ka dyan, naging nurse ka pa. I remember you had to enroll in nursing, was it?
Yeah, oo. So bali, nung pumunta ako ng Amerika, tinanong ako ng asawa ko kasi alam niya na career woman ako. Masipag ako magtrabaho. So nakita niya na parang feeling niya displaced, parang feeling displaced ako na parang ano bang gagawin ko dito sa Amerika dahil tinanong niya ako kung gusto kong i-pursue yung pag-aartista dito sa Amerika. But at that time, I felt like it wouldn't be a good decision kasi it would not be a good foundation for our marriage. Because kung nakatira kami sa Michigan at ipupursue kong pag-aartista, kailangan kong lumipad palagi either sa California or sa New York. Hindi magiging magandang pundasyon yon for our marriage. Kakasal pa lang namin noon. So, tinanong na, gusto mo bang mag-aral? Bumalik ka sa pag-aaral para malaman mo kung anong gusto mo talagang kunin. I go, yeah, I think I'd like to go back to school. And originally, I wanted to be a psychiatrist. Pero sabi niya, parang matagal yata bago ka matapos. Parang hindi magiging cost-effective kasi by the time gumraduate ka, senior citizen ka na. So hindi yun. So I decided, okay, healthcare related din naman. Nag-aral ako bilang maging nurse.
Okay, but why healthcare? Because parang never once did you mention that to me when we were friends here in the Philippines. Ni minsan di mo nabanggit yung nursing o yung healthcare na yan.
Oo, kasi pakiramdam ko nung malapit na akong gumraduate ng high school, actually junior ako, di ba yun yung time na nag-a-apply na yung mga estudyante kung sa UP, sa Ateneo, Lasal, Merinol, etc. But I didn't have the confidence na sabihin sa nanay ko gusto ko maging doktor.
Mm-hmm.
I guess yung personalidad ko, I like fixing things. I like helping people feel better, get better. So yun yung I love science. So yun ang pundasyon. Pero pagdating ko dito, naramdaman ko na nursing is still in the healthcare. It's a healthcare profession, and mas maikli kaysa pagdodoktor. So sige, why not? Sige, ayun. Nag-nursing.
Okay, so you took up nursing, you practiced it. I remember you would post one in a rare while, yung bang parang nagdusa ka sa ship mo or something like that. How was that journey for you? Kasi respected ang mga Filipino nurses sa States, but kayo rin yung Pasan Cruz ng healthcare sa United States and in the UK.
hindi naging madali yung transition. First of all, nung pumunta ako ng Amerika, hindi naman ako ganun kagaling mag-English. So nung habang nag-aaral ako, binabasa ko English, tinatranslate ko sa Tagalog, tapos binabalik ko ulit sa English yung pagsagot ng test. So ang tagal kong gumawa ng test. And then, coming from a background of nung
Okay, I think we had a slight delay in the signal there. We will try to get back to Princess Punzalan, and it's interesting that what she's sharing, because medyo maraming revelation itong pakikipag-usap natin kay Princess Punzalan, because first, most of you assume na actress siya, she's living in the US, or she can easily communicate in English. But as she was pointing out, iba yung spoken English, iba yung nagte-test ka na, and you are trying to understand it in your, your foundations, which is Tagalog, and then you have to translate it in English. So that's a revelation for me. And then, of course, the fact that she's always wanted to be a doctor, but was intimidated or not sure how her mother would react. Kasi si Ma'am Helen, ibang klase din yun. Nakakatakot yung nanay ni Princess. Astig yun. Okay, let's try to reconnect with the Princess Punzalan. Princess, are you there?
Yes. Can you hear me well?
Yes. Okay, there.
Okay.
So
right.
You were saying.
Okay. So bilang artista sa Pilipinas, ako ang pinagsisilbihan. Pero nung ako ay nurse, it's a service that you render to your patients. So ako ngayon na nagsisilbi. Magkaiba yung atmosphere, kumbaga. Sa Pilipinas, tawag sa akin Miss Princess. Minsan ang tawag sa akin ng pasyente, hey you.
Hey you. Okay, naranasan mo ba yung naawa ka sa sarili mo? Kasi naranasan ko yun sa Amerika, na naawa ako sa sarili ko dahil parang wow, ano na inabot ng buhay ko.
Minsan may mga na-encounter ako na medyo malulupit magsalita na pasyente. Syempre minsan kailangan ko isipin din na pag may sakit ng isang tao, maiksi ang pasensya. So, nung nag-uumpisa ako, hindi pa ako ganun kabilis sa proseso ng aking paggawa ng mga procedures. So, may mga tao na naiinip, nagagalit, yung gano'n. So, there were times na naaawa ako sa sarili ko, parang, sa Pilipinas, iba yung buhay ko. Bakit ba ganitong ginagawa sa akin dito? But, I had to wake myself up and realize na hoy, talaga, panahon lang yan, iba-iba ang seasons ng buhay. Malay mo, kailangan talagang pagdaanan itong bagay na ito dahil meron kailangan matutunan in this season. And mas lumawak yung aking pasyensya.
Anong natutunan mo in that season, Princess? Because it wasn't too long. You did the nursing gig, as they say in America, pero hindi ka naman na malagi doon. Pumunta ka pa rin sa pag-aartista. Pero anong natutunan mo bilang nurse sa Amerika? Parang pelikula no? Nurse sa Amerika.
Oo. Isang na-realize ko is hindi natin masasabi bigla-bigla. Minsan okay ka, bukas makalawa, hindi mo na kayang tumayo. Parang may mga bagay na dapat ipagpasalamat natin. Like for example, if you can get up and go to the bathroom by yourself and clean yourself, malaking bagay yun. Dahil marami akong namimit ngayon, hindi nila kayang pumunta ng banyo, hindi kayang umalis ng kama. So yun lang. The fact na kaya mong matulog sa gabi ng maayos, it's a big deal kasi ang dami kong namimit na halos maloka, hindi sila makatulog. May mga ganun bagay ba? And ganun, important, meron ako nakausap na isang ale She was in her late 90s. Sabi ko, sa inyong experience at haba ng buhay, ano ang napansin nyo at ano sa tingin nyo ang babaguhin nyo sa buhay nyo kung pwede kayong bumalik? Sabi niya, siguro mas hindi iinit ang ulo ko pag madumi ang bahay. Kasi mas naging concerned daw siya na maging malinis yung bahay at unahin yung chores kesa ang mag-spend ng time sa mga anak niya. Dahil at that point, hindi na sila masyado nag-uusap ng mga anak niya. So, isa yun sa mga realizations. And pagdating ng panahon at malapit ka ng mamatay, ang hahanapin mo, hindi yung mga bagay o yung naipon mo, kung hindi yung mga mahal mo sa buhay. So, importante habang may panahon, let's spend time with the family.
I have considered you as a sister of in an extended family. You are a person of great faith. But during that season of testing, ano ang naging sitwasyon mo with the Lord?
Ako kasi, yung relationship ko sa Kanya, hindi ko tinatago kung ano yung gusto kong sabihin. Kung malungkot ako, sasabihin ko, alam mo, malungkot ako, disappointed ako kasi umaasa ako, tapos hindi nangyari. Or akala ko ba, pinangako mo sa akin ganito, pero bakit ganito ang nangyayari sa buhay ko? Or I'm very transparent at hindi ako natatakot na maging transparent sa Kanya dahil alam naman niya lahat kahit hindi ko sabihin, alam niya kung ano nangyayari. So I'm very much open and I read the Bible and it really helps me find kung ano yung direction na dapat kong gawin. Minsan, in my reading, malalaman, mayroon ako mababasa na parang may pahaging na, baka balang araw, itong mangyayari, ganyan. So, and then, ma-reinforce na iba pang readings or minsan may maririnig akong kanta or something in the movie and which will echo kung ano yung nababasa ko. So parang confirmation upon confirmation and then malalaman ko na, ito pala parang binibigyan niya ako ng hagod sa likod or etc. I mean, ganon. I'm very transparent and I read the word to hear Him say things to me. Kasi minsan mahirap yung pinaniniwalaan mo lang kung ano yung naiisip mo. Maganda yung nababasa mo talaga at naririnig mo kung ano yung kanyang mensahe para sa akin. Okay. So the long and short of it, I pray a lot.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good to know, good to hear. Now, going back into acting, being a foreigner in the States and considering where and who you were in the Philippines, medyo, was it easy, difficult, enjoyable yung pagbabalik mo sa pelikula dyan sa Amerika? Kasi may mga ibang magsasabi na going back to film in America is still another form of being a second-class citizen. Ano yung naging experience mo?
Basically, ang mas na-experience ko is kailangan business, ang show business is business. Kailangan alam mo kung sino ang market mo, sino ang manonood mo, para kailangan i-recalibrate ko yung style ng pag-arte, depende sa kung sino ang manonood. So, iba ang personalidad ng audience sa Pilipinas or ang mga Pilipino, wherever they are, iba yung culture. Iba rin ang kultura ng mga manonood dito sa Amerika at mga international films. So, I had to go back to acting school. I had to go to school para malaman kung ano yung mga bagay na kailangan kong baguhin, ano yung kailangan kong matutunan para mas maging effective sa ibang market.
Okay. Si Miss Princess ka rin ba sa mga tiga-US? Or did it help to have to start when that you started in nursing and then went into acting? Kasi medyo big deal din yung Yellow Rose na pelikula, no?
Yeah, I'm grateful na binili siya pinick up siya ng Sony. And I think it opened doors for me. And it gave me confidence na, sige, siguro kaya ko tong pasukin talaga. Kasi, nung ginawa ko yung Yellow Rose, iniisip ko parang one-shot deal lang. Parang, okay, pwede na ako mamatay. Parang ganon. Pero, pero, sinabi sa akin ng director, oh, okay ka umarte. Bakit hindi ka umarte ng tuloy-tuloy dito sa Amerika? Yun ang naglagay sa akin ng idea. Kinausap ko yung asawa ko. Mabuti na lang yung asawa ko ay very supportive. So from San Diego, lumipat kami ng Los Angeles para mas makapag-aral ako at mapursu ko ang pag-aartista. So salamat sa Diyos, I was able to meet people who would help me pursue kung ano yung goal ko. And hindi ko pa pwedeng sabihin, pero pretty soon, you'll see me on TV.
Okay. I don't know if I'm being prophetic here, pero parang feeling ko pag may naglabas ng pelikulang The Nurse, mukhang titiba sa takilya because in this season, Filipina nurses and Filipino nurses are being recognized, and given that you have been in both realms, I think you could credibly portray that in film. Pero ano yung TV show na yan? Pang West Coast ba yan? Pang East Coast? Pang mainland? Or pang Philippines?
Sa ngayon, pang Amerika. Pero I think pwede rin mapanood sa Pilipinas. So, abangan, hindi pa ako pwede magsalita.
Okay.
Pero abangan.
Ayoko na, baka mamaya mapagalitan pa ako ng mga entertainment journalists na nanggugulo sa teritoryo nila. But how has life been for you as a mother, as an actress, and as a Filipina in the US? Because we're concerned for our friends in the US, especially because of all of this racial crimes or hate crimes.
Thank God, hindi naman ako hindi pa ako nakakaramdam ng mga ganong mga hate crimes. But I think it helps na nasa Asian community ako. So majority ng mga nakikita ko sa paligid ko, puro Asians. So kung makakita ka ng mga puti, sila yung dayo.
Okay. So everything has been good there, and are there any plans to come back to the Philippines or for a visit or do a project?
Sa ngayon, wala pa. Wala pa akong plano to go back to the Philippines for now. Kasi yun nga, dahil nga dito hindi naman usong yaya. And yung anak ko maliit pa. So kung ano yung schedule niya, kailangan yung schedule ko mag-conform sa schedule niya.
Mm-hmm. So soccer mom ka na rin?
Yon, soccer mom, hockey, kung ano-anong mga pinagagawa niya, karate. So, yun, ako ang driver niya. Princess as the driver.
Princess as the driver. Marami tayong pwedeng gawing TV show kung producer lang ako, ano? Anyway, Princess, we have a few minutes left for this interview. I'm hoping that we get a second episode when you come out with that TV show soon. But in the meantime, would you like to send out a message to our viewers who have missed you immensely?
Maraming salamat po sa lahat ng mga sumusubaybay ng mga ginagawa ko. At I promise you, I'm trying my best na magkaroon ng representation ng mga Pilipino dito sa Amerika. I'm trying to represent the Philippines as best as I can and to show them the culture that we have. Makita nila ang kagandahan ng kultura ng Pilipinas. And I am happy that things are going well and things are better. At more than anything, nakikita ko sa news, mas normal na ngayon ang buhay dyan sa Pilipinas. And I'm glad that businesses are thriving, and I am happy for the Philippines.
Okay, well, that is a nice statement. Happy for the Philippines, and we are happy for you. And like I said, Princess, we will continue praying for you every evening. And wag mo akong makakalimutan pag ikaw ay nasa Cannes Film Festival na, ha? I hope I am prophetic. Thank you very much, Princess Punzalan, aka Bernadette Fields.
Thank you.
Okay, that's our friend Princess Punzalan, and we will go for a quick break. And when we return, we go to our second interview for the day here on Agenda. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the program Agenda. I'm your host, Cito Beltran, thanking you for being subscribers of Cignal TV and viewers of One News PH, channels 8 and 250. And to all of you who catch us on Facebook and on YouTube, maraming salamat po, whether you are a viewer or kababayan. God bless you. Let's now go to our next program, next interview. And like I said, we are going artistic today. And our next guest is someone, as the cliche would put it, needs no introduction. But we introduce everyone so that you understand why we choose them. Let's watch this video.
Kenneth Cobonpue is a multi-ethnic furniture designer and manufacturer from Cebu. Today, the Kenneth Cobonpue brand has become known globally for its unique designs and extensive roster of clientele. With his masterful ways in the design industry, Kenneth has earned international awards and recognition from his creative work and expressive pieces.
Okay, welcome to the program, Mr. Kenneth Cobonpue. And I know, how will I phrase this? Sige, manginggit ka pa na naka 356 Porsche ka.
Hi, Cito. Thanks for having me. And to everybody who's watching, hello.
Okay, so those of you who just saw that photo of Kenneth in a convertible car, that car is one of the rarest cars in the Philippines. It's a Porsche 356, circa late 1950s, early 1960. And that is one of those iconic things that is associated with Mr. Kenneth Cobonpue because if I remember correctly, Kenneth, you played around with the design of those cars. Am I correct?
Yes, I did a car before made out of bamboo and carbon fiber, which I displayed in Milan. It got a lot of reviews, and in fact, it made its way into a lot of coffee table books up from abroad. When they wanted to cover sustainable design, it was one of the examples.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now, please bear with me. I'm not trying to annoy you or anything. Okay, but Kenneth Cobonpue comes out of nowhere, and people say, "Oh, he's well known because he's rich, because he has a factory, etc." But not many people realize that you spent 9 years studying in preparation for what you do now in life. If I remember correctly, you studied in New York, and you apprenticed in Italy, did a study in Germany, etc., and etc. Now, could you give us a background how you got started? Because 9 years studying furniture and design, I mean, that takes dedication and passion.
Yeah, I also studied at the UP Diliman, 2 years. I studied business, in fact, because I think that's really important. Design is all about not only about art. You have to know how to sell. You have to learn how to manage your business. I think that was very important. I got interested in design because of my mother. My mother was a designer, and she built the furniture at the back of our house, like literally in our garden. So all the craftsmen were everywhere. And in the evening, she would read me all these stories, these bedtime stories of from anything from fairy tales to faraway lands. And in the morning, I would try to recreate the stories on my own using all the materials that I found around the house. So I had a very, very creative childhood. And when I showed it to her, make her happy. So right after high school, I said, I want to be this child forever. So I asked her, what can I take? And she said, you take up industrial design. That was the course where you learn how to design anything from cars to spaces to basically anything. And so that led me. But my father said there was no money in design. He said, you should take up business. And he was a Chinese businessman.
Yeah, typical.
So I followed him. I went to UP Diliman. I studied for 2 years. And then in the middle of accounting class, I said, I can't take this. So I walked over to the fine arts building and looked at, because they were just offering industrial design then. So I applied. And I remember there was a talent exam. There was a drawing exam. And I couldn't draw well enough. So I did very badly in the test, and I didn't make it. But yeah, so I failed, and I spent 1 whole year just learning again the rudiments of basic drawing. I took up Saturday classes. It was a very humbling experience because beside me were all these kids, these kids doing summer programs in art, and I was the only adult there learning how to draw. Interestingly enough, about a few months ago, the UP Diliman Fine Arts Department asked me to be their commencement speaker.
Okay, sweet revenge.
Yeah, that's right. So so that led me then. After that 1 whole year learning just the basic, then that led me to further studies abroad. Studied. I went to Italy. I went to Germany. I went to New York. I studied all. I just kept on studying.
Because I'm married to a Dutch lady, I am familiar with the rudiments in Europe, where if you take up such courses, you need to have fundamentals in carpentry. For architects, you need to have the fundamentals for carpentry, for plumbing, electricals, etc., before you can start designing houses. What about for your furniture and industrial design?
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, but by then, when I went to Europe, I already had the background, the necessary background in the both from the US and the Philippines, my mother's workshop. So yeah, so it was.
Yeah, but is the Kenneth Cobonpue brand or design purely your artistic gift, or is it a product of all of your trainings in Europe? Because you went to Milan, if I know, Florence, Italy, for a leather and wood workshop. You went to Munich, Bielefeld, and other places.
Yeah, I think it's everything, right? It's very hard when you design something to learn where it's coming from your background. I think you're a sum of all your experiences. And I think the most important thing for me was living abroad. Not really what I studied in school, but just by being abroad, I learned how half of the world lives. So I could design properly for them, for that market. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's my East-West kind of upbringing, I think.
You are respected, recognized, celebrated, but in life, you and I know that accomplishments have an exclamation mark at the end. It only gets better when you pass on the gift to other people. Are you in any way planning to put up an institution, a school? Because you are so gifted, you are so talented, and man, I would find it such a waste if after Kenneth Cobonpue there's no one else.
Yeah, that's actually my dream. I think when I retire, I want to put up a school of my own. Focusing on a very, I guess, Filipino or Asian approach to design. Because right now, everything that we learn is very westernized, a westernized approach to design and doing things. And ours is, I think we have our own aesthetic that we should develop as a country.
Okay, but there is this problem that we tend to limit. I don't know, you're the furniture guy, you're the artist. It's all backyard, it's all woven. It's like parang, how do you call it? Pasalubong standard design. Yeah. And can we elevate this?
Yes, that's, I think, the challenge. You put it very, very well. I think that's really the challenge of the next generation of designers, to elevate all these backyard crafts into something global, something that would fit in any home around the world. But I think our biggest problem, Cito, is actually that there's no one left to make all these things. The average age, it's like our farmers, the average age of our weaver is now about 60 years old, 65. And their kids don't want to work with their hands anymore. And I think,
you are so right there. Returning the acknowledgement to you, you are so right there, because as we traveled all over the Philippines when my daughter was being homeschooled, we discovered that the people who used to make all those indigenous fabrics, they're disappearing. And then even in the woodwork, everyone is using glue and nails. And I said, whatever happened to wood pegs and rattan binding, etc.?
Yeah, I think it's really up to the next generation of designers to give them a chance to make a good living. I mean, you see France and Italy, they have still the craftsman is still there, and they're very proud of it. They're very proud of this tradition.
But
it's part of our history. Yeah.
Are you too busy with your business? I mean, I don't know how to phrase this properly, but
Yeah, sure.
does your business eat up so much of your time that we can demand that Cobonpue establishes the Cobonpue Institute? Because I remember, sino ba yung merong magandang Mercedes-Benz design noon? There is the Adenauer Institute.
Yeah.
What about a Cobonpue Institute?
Yeah, yeah. Right now, it really demands a lot of my time. But I have a lot of apprentices. In fact, we have a lot of interns before the pandemic from around the world, trying to learn about our aesthetic and design. And very many designers have passed through our workshops and learning about design. And some of them are quite successful now. So, yeah, I'd really like to establish that school.
But what would it take? Because I mean, you were recognized by President Duterte and his administration, so much so that you were even given, I don't know if it was official or honorary in the Visayas, but you've been given recognition. What would it take to put up such an institution? Not to glorify Kenneth Cobonpue for specifically, but the spirit and the artistry.
Well, I co-founded the industrial design program at UP Cebu.
Okay.
And yes, with a group of friends, and it's still ongoing today. I used to be also the chair for the industrial design department of Benil.
Okay.
Yeah.
But why are these places short-lived or this project short-lived? Because I remember, Kenneth, back in the late 70s, if I'm not mistaken, there were design institutions, groups, etc. And, there were a lot of hip, hip, hooray, and then gone.
Yeah, I think it has to do again with government and continuity. It's I think, we had all these programs. I mean, we had all these programs, starting from Imelda and up to today. There's so many of these kinds of programs, and I think actually they're very important. In fact, I think my success is also a product of government. In fact, of government support.
In what way?
I was part of a group that CITEM, which is the exhibition arm of the DTI, right? I was a product of they put together this group called the Movement 8 back in the late 90s, and we exhibited abroad. And that's how my furniture became known around the world, because I was able to show with government funding in all the big capitals around the world. And
go ahead.
Yeah. And that's, the budget has been cut so drastically, I think, over the years, that the government, today no longer exhibits abroad.
Okay, that's a good thing to know, because I'm hoping that the new administration catches on that, because if that is what launched you in an international platform, then we should be doing it more. Now, I will have to ask for a second interview with you, Kenneth, but I understand you're getting so much publicity. You're going to be part of the Smart Legacy program. You're going to be the next featured guest. Am I correct?
That's right. Yes. Smart has a program with four of us, four designers who've I think established their own names, their own craft, their respective fields. Yes, and I'm very proud of that. And I think it's good to have that program to highlight, Filipino creativity.
Okay, now as far as I just accidentally caught a glimpse of your client list: Queen of Spain, Brad Pitt, offices of Google and Nike. Is there anyone that you are especially proud of, to know that your work is showcased in their private spaces?
Actually, yeah, I have a lot of clients, and we're also in a lot of actually Korean pop
telenovela. You're into that too?
Yeah, I am not into that actually, and so my friends tell me, "Oh, I saw this, and saw you here, and all that," and all these movies actually they just pick up the furniture. I never know about them. except for one. When we did Warner Brothers, Ocean's 13,
Okay.
where the producers asked for a few pieces. When we sent them the catalog, they ended up ordering everything for the entire set, which they never actually do. They never did before.
Mhm.
Yeah, and after the shooting, the producers ordered another round, for their own homes, charged to their budget.
Okay. Well, clearly,
Yeah.
when you do quality work, when you do fantastic design, but were there ever any fails, Kenneth? Because your designs can be wild at times, beautiful, but it's like, wow, far out. What was he eating when he designed
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, I have a lot of those. It comes with the territory. So every month, every year, we do an annual review, and we're having to pull out some things which have not really done well, and I suppose they'll go again into the collector, annals of the history.
Mhm.
People hold on to them because we only made very few. Yeah, and
Is
again,
the
what's
Yeah, good.
ugly today may be beautiful tomorrow. Right? And it's happened so many times.
Okay, but does your design incorporate longevity? Because right now, many manufacturers in the world, not just in furniture, but even in cars, electronics, there is a limited shelf life.
Oh yeah. I mean, what we really design so that they go on forever. And we have a very, very strong warranty policy with
Mhm.
regard to the furniture. I think the most for any Filipino brand.
Okay, well, it's been
Yeah.
tough trying to squeeze everything under 25 minutes, Kenneth, but please promise me that you'll come back to the show on a longer stint so we can really talk about all of this in detail and your journey. Because no flattery intended, I really mean and hope and pray that somewhere down the road, there will be the Kenneth Cobonpue Institute of Design, because your creativity must be passed on to the next generation.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you, Cito. Thank you for having me, and more power to you and your program.
Thank you very much, Kenneth. And to those of you who would like to catch more of Kenneth, you can watch the upcoming program featuring Kenneth Cobonpue and part of the Smart Legacy series. And now let's go to our closing blessing for the week, which we always give weekly, from Jeremiah chapter 42, verses 10 to 11. If you will remain in this land, then I will build you up and not pull you down. I will plant you and not pluck you up. For I relent of that disaster that I did to you. Do not fear the king of Babylon, of whom you are afraid. Do not fear him, declares the Lord, for I am with you to save you and to deliver you from his hand. And that's today's agenda. Thank you for joining us once again. Thank you to our wonderful guests. And we hope that you will continue to watch and keep it here on One News PH.